the laptop at the back. So we are going to record this Zoom call so that we can share it around afterwards. If you have any concerns or you don't want to be seen by the camera, just stay on this side of the room. All right, let's get into it. Why does my clicker not working? Hang on 1 second. Just need to. There we go. All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Helen. And for the people online, hello. Agenda for today. So I'll just be running through a quick welcome, a few housekeeping things first, and then we'll welcome Anna and Tracey from Fisher Funds to present a case study about Atomic IO. Brad from Atomic is here as well to say hello. Then we have Ruchi and Vinay, who are online today, presenting on Marketo Instance Migration. So there's Ruchi there on the screen. Hello. Thank you so much, guys. They're presenting all the way from India today. Then lastly, we have Nico from Adobe. He's sitting over there, not looking. Hello. Who's going to present a little bit on some Marketo roadmap and has a fun demo to share with us as well. Firstly, just a massive thank you to our sponsors. Thank you. I have to go back. Massive thank you to our sponsors today, Adobe and Atomic IO. So without these guys, we wouldn't be able to run these events. So they are responsible for all the lovely food that you have today and drinks and this lovely venue. So thank you so much, Brad and everyone from Adobe. Just quick one, house rules. So mugs are to be a safe space and a place to learn, and we just ask that we follow these rules. So self-promotion or pitching of any kind. Please don't contact people outside of the user group without their consent. And if there is a use case shared at the user group, please don't share this information further without their consent. So we are recording this meeting today, and we'll make sure that everything's okay before we share that around with everyone. We're recording this meeting today, and the idea is that we want to post that up on the Marketo user group's YouTube channel so that other people can access it and learn from it in future as well. If you have any issues or concerns with that, there's an email address at the bottom there that you can contact. Everyone who signed up here today is probably already a member of the Melbourne chapter, but please do share this around with any other Marketo users that you know in Melbourne or your colleagues and get them to sign up. Just a quick note on some upcoming opportunities. Just a note here, this session actually ran this morning at about 2 a.m., but I left this slide in here. If you have any interest in becoming an Adobe champion or you want to actually know what that is, have a look, scan this here and see if you can access the recording. I did sign up, so if I get the recording and you don't have it, let me know and I'll see if I can share it with you. If you really want to know, I'm going to drop it in here, about what it is to become a Marketo champion, V is probably the only one in the room who's been one before. Is that right? I think so. So, yeah, she might be able to answer some of your questions as well. Yeah. Oh, are we just letting some more people in? Yeah. I'll give you a second.
Hello.
Hello, welcome to the people that just joined on Zoom. Can the people on Zoom see what's being shared on the screen here? Just well enough?
It's a little far off from where I can see at the moment.
We might adjust the camera for the next presentation, but thank you.
Yeah.
Or we'll get some tech support to come and check it out for us. Just a quick note, the Adobe team are conducting some research to understand how people are using Marketo, what's working well and what's not working well. So if you would be interested in participating in a survey, please check out these links here. You will get a copy of this. We'll send it around so that you can do it later if you wish to. And just the last note here. So I don't know if people are aware, but there are lots and lots of other user groups across the globe for Marketo, hosting meetings all the time. And lots of them are hybrid or virtual meetings. So the ones that are sort of left for, April and May are up on the screen there. Some of them are in person, so probably won't be attending those. But check out this QR code, this link here for all the other chapters. You can see what events are going on. Some of them might be not in your time zone, but it might be worth signing up, getting the recordings afterwards. There's lots to learn and lots of really cool topics that people are presenting at other user groups. So don't hesitate to check those out. Just a quick call. We are always looking for presenters, sponsors, and also hosts for our user group meetings. So if you have a venue, such as an office space with a nice meeting room that could fit sort of 20 to 30 people, and you could host a mug, that would be amazing. Please speak to me or Jay at the end of today if you would like to do that. If you would like to speak at these events, please let us know. We would love to have you. It can be on any sort of topic. And in terms of sponsorship, if you're interested in sponsoring a mug meeting, you get a speaking spot and various other things. Do come and chat to us, and I'm happy to take through what that would look like. All right, we're going to move on to our atomic case study. So I will just bear with us a minute while we hand over the tech and everything. Come on up, guys. I will give you that, and I'll grab you the other mic. Just going to try and share my screen. Sorry. Can the people on Zoom hear me? Is that better that you can see if I share the screen? Someone give me a yell out. No, maybe. Someone says yes. Okay, cool. We'll just do a share screen and then that should work. All right. Does your clicker go back?
Back? There's a couple of slides before.
Yeah, can you?
I don't think I can.
Is it going?
No.
Hang on, let me click. Guys, forgive us. This is our first hybrid meeting. We're doing our best. Try it now?
Yes, here we go.
Perfect. All right, I will hand you over to these guys.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Anna McLauchlan, and this is...
I'm Tracey Robins. If you're picking up accents here and the way we say six, then it's because we're from New Zealand. So we came over this morning on a flight.
Yeah, and I've been in Auckland for a day as well, so we've had 2 early morning starts. But yeah, we're really excited to be here. We're really passionate about Marketo. We've been Marketo users for quite some time. I think about 11 years for myself. V originally actually trained me, and then I trained Tracey.
Yes, I've been using Marketo for about 7 years. So
yeah, so we love it. Yeah, I don't think I could work in any other tool still. So we're real champions of Marketo.
Oh.
Oh. Yeah, right back.
Oh,
there we go. So what we're here to talk to you about is a fantastic case study, and we've started to use a lot more in-app notifications, and we want to talk to you a lot more about it because it's been really exciting for us, and we've got lots of really good results. And it's all coming out of Marketo, and we use Atomic to support that. So we're thinking about the app the same way we would email. So when you're thinking about your journeys, we're now thinking about how do we embed an experience within our app. So they are both blended together. So we talk about how do we blend our email marketing and our journeys with our messages within our app. So it's a really exciting time for us.
If you think about it, your clients, your customers are really wanting that because, it's a security they want to be able to trust that the messages you're sending are, reliable. But from a marketing side, it allows you to bring, your lifecycle marketing into the app and create personalized messaging in there. So it's just opened up a whole new area for us. So we love it. No. We'll explain all about that.
Yeah. We'll talk about that. So who are we? And so you probably won't have heard of us. So we are from Fisher Funds. Fisher Funds is a KiwiSaver provider and also does a lot of investment in terms of managed funds. Tracey will talk a bit more about them. We were established in 1988, so we've been around 25 years. 1998, sorry, been around 25 years. Fisher Funds recently acquired Kiwi Wealth, so it doubled their client base. So they originally had about 250,000 clients, now have 500,000. So that's pretty big for New Zealand. And we have nearly 500 years of combined investment experience and over 22 billion in funds under management. So for New Zealand and for a superannuation provider, we are actually pretty big, which is pretty awesome.
You heard Anna say KiwiSaver, and we're going to say that over and over again in this whole presentation. So if for you guys, KiwiSaver is like super. So it's a retirement investment. It's pretty much compulsory when you start a new job, you get enrolled into KiwiSaver. There's a couple of big things. You can actually take the money out if you're getting a first home. So we have a, first time, we'll talk a little bit about that. You get a government contribution if you contribute a little bit, and you can get the funds out and at around 65. So when we'll give you a bit of a background on how that works, but we wanted to make sure you understood what KiwiSaver was. Otherwise you'd be going, what the hell are you guys talking about?
So this is our purpose. We keep it really simple in Fisher Funds. So we champion ambition, and we want to enhance wealth for a better tomorrow. That's quite simply our ambition and our purpose, and we live and breathe that. We do a lot of work internally around this, a lot of work on our brand. So yeah, we're pretty excited. The word ambition does crop up an awful lot in terms of what we do.
But because of that Ambition, Anna and I have an ambition, and we want to be one of the best marketing automation teams in New Zealand. That's our ambition.
Yeah. So we've just been through a really massive technology change. Fisher Funds has recently put in Financial Services Cloud. And alongside that, they also put in Adobe Marketo. And Fisher Funds, in fact, already had that product when Kiwi Wealth had that product when Funds took them over. They were actually originally a Salesforce Marketing Cloud partner, so they moved from Salesforce Marketing Cloud to Marketo. I think they saw what the
so we're actually quite interested in the migration of. We're interested in the next presentation around migration of Marketos, because we're actually running two Marketos at the moment. We're running a Kiwi Wealth Marketo and a Fisher Funds Marketo. So that makes it very complicated.
Yeah, absolutely.
From March, we have amalgamated the brands into one.
Yeah. But
Kiwi sitting in the front row here.
But that's what it looks like. But underneath,
they're quite separate.
They are actually separate, but that's still work.
So this is quite important for our discussion today, because at the moment, Atomic is in the Kiwi Wealth side, and we're just about to hopefully be putting it into the Fisher Funds side. So Anna and I were with Kiwi Wealth, and we came across to Fisher Funds, so that's why we're really heavily engaged in this middle area here. But Fisher Funds, like what we're doing so much, they brought it in.
Yeah, and they are really passionate about this now. I think we've brought the passion, I think, into Fisher Funds. There's a lot of buy-in from the top down. We're presenting it with the board shortly. The board are asking about marketing automation, which is, really unheard of. So yeah, we have to go and present to them. So they've really bought into this. So we're pretty excited around where this can go.
So as I talked a little bit about before about KiwiSaver, and we've got this road to retirement. So we've got a lot of acquisition that goes on at the moment, and we're really loving Salesforce Financial Services Cloud, and that's linked up to Marketo. So we've got a big acquisition, a lot of leads coming through. Then we've got like onboarding. When you turn 18, you kind of own your KiwiSaver account. You're eligible for a first time withdrawal, and there's kind of all these milestones along the way. And then there's a big one when you get closer to 65, and we sort of a bit of focus from 64 to 65. We are also a default provider, which there's only a few of them in New Zealand, and we have some requirements we have to do as a default provider. So that's why we have a really strong kind of road to retirement.
And it looks a bit linear, but it's definitely not. There's a lot going on under the hood. We could get to a point where there's literally thousands of campaigns, probably triggering to hundreds of clients. So this is going to scale massively. But when we need to talk to like the board around kind of what we're doing, this is like our really simple high level slide. And yeah, there's a lot of complexity going to all of these journeys.
This is an example of a journey. We sort of contact clients 15 years out and 10 years out, and the communications as they get closer to 64 get more and more. So this is like the email versions. We have some GIFs in there, and we're trying to get people to review their strategy, and we also talk about what to do in their last working decade. So yeah, we're really trying to have more communications with them.
We put a lot of emphasis on best practice. We are always tweaking, learning, redoing our template, checking what's above the fold, checking on click rates. None of that really went on, I don't think, before we joined. So we are very rigorous about this. We've just redone our template again, and we check things regularly. So this is very much about best practice for us. So
yeah. We're talking about in-app notifications, but for us, we have kind of a web portal as one of our options. And so we have to use the email to get them to log in. And once they log in, that they can get the app notifications. But we also have an app at Fisher Funds, and as soon as that's up and running, then we'll be able to do sort of the in-app notifications. And so it will be interesting to see what happens to the kind of email side of it for some clients.
Yeah, so we're blending our cards with our email, and we just wanted to give you a quick example of how that works. So this is an example of what it looks like currently within our app. We have various locations of where we can actually put the cards for Atomic. We're going to work through an example shortly. And these cards here on the right-hand side are a sample of some of the ones that fire when we're sending the various journeys.
So kind of the elements of a card, you can have an image, you can have heading, you can have text, and then you have kind of links that can link out within your app or out to web pages or news articles or things like that.
Yep.
You can also have forms within these cards, and so it's super flexible around what you can do.
Got a good example. We're capturing sentiment just recently as well, so we want to talk to you about that one. They're very flexible in terms of what you can actually do with the cards. Sorry, Tracey, I say.
And I think we're going to come to it. So.
Yeah.
So this is an example of someone turning 65. We would send them an email and say, you know, congratulations, happy birthday. And when they log into the app, there is some information about what you need to do when you turn 65, how to make a digital withdrawal. And this is actually, you know, a really high performing card. And so we've kind of got the integration with the GIF and the email and in the app, the web portal. Yeah.
So this is an example of what our portal looks like. This is just some very test data, hence the name at the top. You come in and you have your various tiles for your savings, KiwiSaver being the superannuation. It's an example of someone that's also saving for some holidays as well. And then we have, I think it's actually just covered on the right-hand side, there is a little bell as well. And I think you see it on the next screen. A little bell comes up and says that you have a notification waiting for you. So at the moment, if you click on that, up will come a card. And we also have cards within each of these buttons as well. And we also have the ability to put one on the main page. So does it work? So I wanted to share some results. So far we've sent over 4 million cards into the portal. Now, we haven't actually had Atomic that long. I would say probably about 18 months, but it's probably only been the last 6 months that we've started to use it. After all of our learnings, we've started to use it consistently across every journey.
Some cards will send to the whole base, you know, if it's kind of like a monthly thing, but some cards will just technically send to a few clients. So yeah, the number seems quite big, but sometimes we do big sends of them.
Yep. So some of our most successful cards. So the congratulations on your first home withdrawal. So you take your money out and buy your first home. You're logging in a lot. Hence, that'll have a really good view rate. And we also use these cards to get people to reset their KiwiSaver and get them to continue to contribute, because a lot of people buy their first home and think, oh, can't really be contributing to my KiwiSaver as well.
And we like the way we can personalize the app. You know, if you've done a first home withdrawal, you can go in and, you know, we're congratulating them. So we think it's really awesome.
Yep.
And that's the card for turning 65 as well. So we have different designs on our card depending on where it is in the portal. So if it's on the very home screen, we can't have an image on it because it kind of doesn't look as well. But in the bell, we can pretty much do anything we like.
Yeah.
I'm a customer of another bank that has Atomic, and they're very conservative with their design of their cards. We like to bring a bit of color and flair to our app, but a lot of the banks and that are using it in New Zealand, they have very probably like the first home one, just more kind of a heading and some copy and some links out.
We've done some competitions. We did a campaign where you can win a share of 25,000. So of those that viewed the card, over 70% of the clients went through and actually clicked on the links in that card and either watched a video or entered the competition. It was a hugely successful campaign for us.
So you can, within an Atomic card, watch a video, so you don't have to take them out of the portal, which is really good. So if you have like a welcome and you have a video about how to use your portal or your app, that's really cool. You don't have to take them out, so you're keeping them within there. Yeah. And that's what we're talking about, government contributions. So we put app notifications in to remind them to make contributions, but also to say, you know, congrats, your government contributions being paid. And we can click them into a different area of the app so they can find out and see where the contribution is.
And any data that's served up from the portal can be used as a runtime variable. So you'll see it's got Anna in here. We could put someone's actual real-time balance, so you can surface up runtime variables in these cards as well, which makes it even more personalized and even more relevant.
But you can also send any data you have in Marketo into these cards as well.
Yeah, which is pretty awesome. So how do we do it? So we use what's called self-service flow steps, which is reasonably new. It was only released relatively recently by Marketo. I think Atomic even found a couple of bugs in the code. I think Marketo had to go and fix it. But yeah, really, really simple, crazy simple in Marketo. You just query directly, I think it's Atomic's API, and you can grab the list of cards in there, and we'll show you how the cards are built in a second. And then you can just do all your standard criteria in your smart list, whoever you want to pull, and then this flow triggers. And it is so fast. Like, yes. No. This is actually coming from Marketo.
So what we would normally do is have an email send and an Atomic send. So like two different flows.
Yeah, two different flows.
You could do it in one, but we quite like to do it, you know, so we know what's sending to what. But
I know about 250,000 cards send in about 7 or 8 minutes. So it is fast.
We used to trigger them using triggers.
Using webhooks. Yeah.
But that was quite slow. And so we did a lot of work with Atomic. And I know Brad's sitting here, but that, you know, they've been super helpful and such a great team in Atomic. But, you know, we'd go to them and say, hey, this is not working right. What do you guys think? And, you know, they really helped us build these self-service flow steps. So.
And the data we can push back into Marketo, either via a custom activity or into an actual field as well, which for us is really powerful, because this is the engine room. Marketo is the engine room, not Atomic. We just want all the data coming back into Marketo and then syncing back to Financial Services Cloud as well. So you can see that a card is sent. We're also doing some work around tracking how many cards you actually click on and interact with, and creating some kind of score within Marketo as well. And it might be that some of our clients only interact with the cards and some may not even interact with emails, and you know, vice versa. We're really starting to analyze all that data in the back end. It's quite exciting to see how our clients are actually.
I think our ultimate goal is like if we know who interacts with a card, we're more likely to send them a card. If they're more likely to do email, we'll do email. Or if, you know, they want a text or whatever. Then that's good. So we have a score when we send a card, and we have a score when it comes back in as a view.
And this has just been an absolute game changer for us, both in terms of results and be able to see what our clients are actually doing. So yeah, we're pretty excited about this. Yes. They asked, are we incorporating those into nurture flows, existing nurture flows? Yes, which you can very easily do.
So this is kind of this is Atomic, and that's how we kind of look at Atomic, because we don't really see any of the back end stuff. So it's a very easy UI. It's kind of this drag and drop. I kind of think of it like the modules. You're kind of dragging modules in. It's very similar to building a card. So you build the card in Atomic, and this is what it looks like. You can even link to Marketo images if you want to, but you can also load images up into there. You were asking what's in the app. Anna and I probably don't have the background, but it's like you have a container within your app. So that's right, Abe. Yes. So yeah, and you can put links within the copy, and you can
it's really easy to use. Like we didn't really have any training. We just jumped in there and started building cards.
What you can do is you go into the delivery section, and you can choose when to expire cards. So you can do it based on when you deliver it, like, or a number of days. We usually have our cards in there for a month or so, generally. And you can actually choose where you deliver it to. So sometimes you might just to go on the homepage. Sometimes you might want to go on the bell. So we have a few options that we can choose.
So another thing, I did miss a slide. It's next one. Yes. The question was, is there any limit to the amount of cards you can accept?
There's like a priority going on in the background. So when you set up the card, you set up where it will deliver, how long it's in there for, and then what the priority is. So you have a 1 to 10, and if it's really top priority, it'll go in over the top of another card, or it'll be higher in the list. It depends on the kind of layout you have in your app or your portal. Yes.
Can you A/B test the cards is the question?
I think what we're going to show you next, that you didn't see that in Auckland, but this is kind of a new a new version. So you can A/B test really easily now. So what we've been doing previously is just sending kind of one card and maybe a sub view of that card. And now we're getting into way more complex. This looks very complex, but the background to this is we have migrated 2 brands. So as you can imagine, that's a churn risk. And so we really wanted to get a feel for what our clients were thinking. And so we wanted to check in with them to see if they were feeling good or not. And this is called action flows. It's quite new in Atomic, but it allows you to send one card, and then based off what's happening in that card, you can trigger subsequent flows. And so it's a big flow. So it's really awesome if you want to talk.
Yeah, we're really excited about this. We've just put this into play, and we have definitely saved some clients. So we'll show you shortly. If you want to bring it up now, Helen, we'll show you. I've just recorded it. So you can see here, if you want to play that, Helen. Yep. So this is a quick check-in. This comes up on the portal. So someone can say that they're happy. Sure, that, it's playing. Oh, just down the bottom. You just out there, Helen? Yep, that's it. Yeah, nice. So someone can say that they're happy. Quick check-in. Great, they're done. Great to hear. Thanks for letting us know you're happy. With some other client might get this, and then they might say, actually, no, I'm not happy. Bear with, it'll come up in a second. Things could be better. So no, not that great. Things could actually be better. So next pops up a screen and we say, sorry, you're not enjoying it. Do you want a phone call or do you want to write some written feedback? So someone might say, yes, give me a call. And then we say, hey, when do you want to chat? What time? And you can choose a time, confirm, great. And then if, one of the team will be in touch. So this all writes back to Marketo, goes into our financial services card, and this client gets a call. And then if you prefer to actually give feedback rather than get a call, because no one likes to talk to people these days, say things could be better and say, I'd prefer to write feedback. And then, they can write feedback in here. That goes straight back into Marketo.
It's not held in Atomic.
It's
or
not
anything
held.
like that.
No, right, it's back. Yeah.
But what we do is we have alerts set up. So well, the way we've got it is we have an alert set up. So it emails us that when someone says they're happy and what the feedback is. We also, now that we linked up with FSC, we have interesting moments going in. We can send cases or tasks into queues. No, it's all automated. It's super. I mean, we have alerts going to all the marketing teams. So all the team love seeing if clients are happy. And then whenever someone's not happy, we've got stuff set up to call that client and And but one thing we have noticed that people are more likely to say they're happy.
Yeah.
Which just seems
they'll probably just dismiss the card if they're
Yeah.
not happy, which is something interesting to look into as well. We actually had a client in here who said they weren't happy. They had a very large balance. I think it's just like $300,000, I believe, and we saved them. So that's just one client that was saved through this. I mean, it's just virtually paying for itself, really.
So you were talking about A/B testing. So do you want to go back to that flow?
Yes. Yeah. Do you want to flip?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it is a slide. Oh, cool. Cool. We'll just go back
You
to
could
the flow.
actually A/B test a card and set up some flows and I think 50-50 send it and test.
Yeah. But at each part of this, you'll see little send feedback back to the lead record, send unhappy response and happy response back to Marketo. These are little requests that can set up as part of your action flow that goes straight back into Marketo. Pretty easy to set up, really. It didn't actually take us that long.
It looks
a bit, it does look harder than what it is. I just tried to get it to kind of look nice on the slide, but it gives you a bit of an idea that it's not just like one-off cards when they're branching into full journeys. And this is just a sentiment one, but you could do anything. Like anything is possible really in here. It's as creative as you want to get.
We've spent a long time just sending one card per.
We have
and
started really small.
This is where we're moving to.
Yeah. Yes. Both. Yeah. They asked how does it write back and whether you can do custom activity or a field. Both. Yeah, both. The feedback and the actual feedback is actually writing into a field. And then we're outputting that into it because we want to see it come in. And it's really exciting when you see it come in. Like we just have it triggering to our inbox. Like, we got some feedback come through. So we try and get it out of there.
If they type something in there, you can also use it in the next card.
Yeah.
So there's flexibility to say, hey, you said this.
Yeah. Exactly. So we're really excited about action flows. It's relatively new for Atomic. And we just jumped on a call, did a bit of a training session with them just quickly. And before you know it, we had this spun up pretty quickly. So. All right.
One thing we haven't really covered is the analytics of it. So inside Atomic is a big dashboard on how your card's been viewed and whether it's been actioned. I don't think we have a slide on that.
We don't, but we can, if anyone wants to have a look, we're happy to open it up and have a look. We just thought we'd throw this use case up here because we recently on the 6th of March combined two brands, which was really from green to blue. And we spun this up. So we had a nice welcome to Fisher Funds as soon as you logged in, which was exciting. The other thing we did is on the kind of Kiwi Wealth side, there isn't a mobile app yet. It's coming in a couple of months, but it is on the Fisher Funds side. So as soon as this went live on the 6th of March, everyone started to think that they could use the app. So we spun up literally within 5-10 minutes, a quick card on the front to say the mobile app's coming soon. So we were able to do that, within 5 or 10 minutes. The hardest part was just making sure we got the copy right.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that feedback came through from the call center.
Yeah.
And then the call center spoke to that because, everyone was on high alert. And we were able to respond to that. So
So I think that the speed at which you can do this as well is also really, really powerful. And that's what we also love about it. And we just banged a couple of 100,000 cards in there, and yeah, it was done within 10 minutes. So, and this was a really good use case because we're always trying to talk about Atomic internally and get the whole business to think about Atomic, because not only can we fire these cards, but through Sales Insights, through Marketo, the front line could also fire these cards into the app. So there are so many different use cases for how this could actually be used.
And I think, you know, if you think about doing apology emails and things like that, you know, maybe you don't need to do an apology email. You can just have an app notification to say, hey, sorry, we realized we underpaid you or overpaid you $5.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot we can do.
Yeah. So we've done a lot of that. Rather than send the email, we put it in the app.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Yep. Yep. Yes. 2 minutes, yes, we're done.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
So
Sorry,
we've just got some screenshots here which show this is about to be implemented very shortly on the Fisher Funds Online and the web app. So there's going to be several areas we're actually going to have these cards. So as I think it's happening at kind of end of June, hopefully we'll go down to one Marketo instance. So we're really excited about what this is going to do actually within the app, because we've only really ever used it within the web app. So yes, fun times. And that was it. Really? Yes.
2 minutes. Sorry, we talked too long.
Yeah.
40
40 seconds.
40 seconds. Okay, 40
1
seconds.
minute. 1 minute.
Great.
Yeah.
So yeah, Anna and Tracey have already covered all this. Anna and Tracey have largely covered this, but we call it like impact channel. It's about getting outcomes, and I'm going to be very careful not to be self-promoting here. But here's an opportunity. If you want to keep in touch with Atomic, you can scan that QR code there and go in the draw to win a voucher from Rain or Tuts. Yeah, we'll keep in touch with you that way. But I just want to say thanks very much to Anne and Tracey for coming all the way over from New Zealand. It's an awesome story, and it's loved hearing it from the other side.
We're always happy to talk to anyone. We're always opening our Marketo instance, having conversations. So honestly, if anyone wants to chat and talk about this in a bit more detail, yeah, we're always happy to look under the hood of our Marketo instance. Just reach out to me or send me a note on LinkedIn or come and chat afterwards. Okay. Oh, okay, awesome. Great. Thank you so much.
I think we're undergoing quite a big change. We're using Sales Insights within Financial Services Cloud.
Yeah.
We're using Atomic and we're using Marketo. So
Yeah,
it's super interesting.
yeah, it is. Lots happening in the space. Thank you. Awesome.
Thank you. We've got Ruchi and Vinay presenting next, so I'll just stop sharing things on my end so that Ruchi can share his screen. So we'll be kind of looking at this screen for the next presentation. So yeah, just hang tight. Yeah, people in the room, don't be shy, fill up your drinks. Ruchi, I'm going to mute myself and stop sharing, and then feel free to get your screen set up. Just trying to find my...
That acting like a second screen.
Yeah, so I'm going to stop. Is that stop share? Yeah, and then I will mute. All good to get going.
Okay, can you hear me okay? All right. Welcome everybody, and thank you so much for joining us today. So whether tuning in from across the globe or just around the corner, we are thrilled to have you with us for this chapter. So let's make the most of our time together. I'm Ruchi Lapran. I'm working as Senior Manager at City Interactive. I'm having over 14 plus years of professional experience and over 9 years of experience in email marketing and marketing automation. I'm a certified Adobe Engage business practitioner, and I've been actively leveraging Marketo's capabilities since 2014. So my role is primarily focused on designing and implementing solutions that empower marketing campaign strategies, streamlining lead generation and operational processes, setting up and managing instances effectively. Additionally, I specialize in offering consultation on both marketing and technical requirements for instance migrations, whether within the same instance or across instances. I have with me my colleague Vinay, so I'll let him introduce himself.
Thank you, Ruchi. Hello, everyone. I'm Vinay Kumar. I'm 3X Marketo certified expert. I have 11 plus years of experience in digital marketing and marketing automation. Presently, I'm working as an assistant manager marketing automation at City Interactive, and my expertise span across areas such as instance migration, lead scoring, lead lifecycle, GDPR, database hygiene, and a lot more. With this, I am also responsible for providing consultation to my clients and guiding my team to achieve the desired results. In addition to this, I am an active member of Marketo Nation. I am a MUG leader of our Marketo user group, Chandigarh Tri-City, and a community advisor. So let's start with today's session. Over to you, Ruchi.
Thank you. So let's dive into today's agenda. So we are going to talk about what are the business need or reasons behind migration. We will cover what are the key components involved during migration. We'll talk about what, who, and how involved in the process, and at the end we'll share some key takeaways. Starting with the first, what are the underlying reasons behind migration? So when we are migrating from one instance of Marketo to another instance of Marketo, it's often referred to as Marketo to Marketo migration. And the specifics of the migration, it can vary depending on the organization's requirements. Here are some of the valid reasons why a business might undertake migration. For example, they are changing CRMs, which in addition to Marketo migration is yet another scenario driven by various factors depending on the needs and objectives. For example, an organization is using CRM A presently and wants to switch to CRM B. So Marketo can only be natively connected to one CRM at the time. And switching to a different CRM might require migrating to a different Marketo instance that has not been integrated to any other CRM. However, if you're opting for a custom integration through API, then it can be connected to multiple CRMs. If you're focusing on divisional alignment, large multinational organizations or companies with diverse workspaces or data partitions may have separate Marketo instances for different regions or divisions. So migration to a single instance can not only align their marketing efforts, improve collaboration, and also ensure the consistent branding and messaging across the organization. Then acquisition or merger. It can indeed be a significant driver behind Marketo migration. So when two companies merge or one acquires another, so there is often a need to consolidate systems, processes, and data. So in the aftermath of such a deal, organizations, they may find themselves with multiple instances of Marketo, we just saw in the case study of Fisher Funds and Atomic, or the other marketing automation platforms. So consolidating these individual systems into a single unified instance of Marketo, it can streamline the operations and reduce the complexity, also ensuring seamless data sync and integrity. So Marketo to Marketo migration can also be kind of motivated by the idea of taking data migration or cleansing initiative. So this can involve consolidating and standardizing data from legacy systems, cleansing duplicate or inaccurate records, and also implementing more robust data governance practices. When we are using independent business units, again, the large organizations with multiple marketing teams or departments, each focus on different products or regions or campaigns, security and access control perspectives, or maybe isolated workflows and processes, and many more. So there may be a need of independent workspaces within Marketo. In case your current instance does not have that capacity to set up independent business units, you would need a fresh instance, and starting afresh could allow for better segmentation of marketing activities and enabling each team to work independently within their designated workspace. If we're thinking about the strategic realignment, changes in the business strategy or goals or market focus or targeting different customer segments may prompt organizations to reevaluate their MarTech stack and also realign their Marketo instances accordingly. So migration to a new instance can support these kind of strategic initiatives. And if there's an unorganized instance, which over the time Marketo instance may become more cluttered or redundant with the outdated assets, workflows, or integrations, it can lead to performance issues and inefficiencies. For example, delayed load times, technical glitches, which can negatively impact your marketing operations. So if you're migrating to a cleaner instance and optimize it as needed, it can definitely improve the system performance and enhance the user experience. At the end, insights and reporting. The current Marketo instance may be able to scale to accommodate the organization's growing marketing needs, such as increasing volume of leads, your campaigns or data. So new versions of Marketo may offer real-time data visualization tools that would allow a marketer to monitor campaign performance and KPIs in the real time. These tools can also provide dynamic dashboards and interactive reports that can make it easier for a marketer also identify needs as they happen. It arises from the desire to optimize marketing operations, leveraging the best features and capabilities involving integration capabilities and support the organization's growth and evolving business requirements. I'll take a pause here and I'll allow my audience to, absorb all the scenarios depicted on the screen. And I also invite you to indicate if you can, relate to any of these situations. You can either raise your hand or type in your response in the chat box.
We had a few hands up here in the room, but you might not be able to see.
Yeah, I'm sharing my screen, so. Okay, that's good. Yep. So thank you for your participation. Vinay and I have collaborated on several migration projects, and we keep on sharing our findings and learnings during and after each accomplishment. So I'll pass the virtual mic over to Vinay, and he will share with us his experiences or success story from our collaborative efforts. So Vinay, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ruchi. So yeah, as you mentioned, we have worked on multiple migration projects. Even I'm currently working on 2 migration projects. One is where a client is looking to change their CRM from MS Dynamics to Salesforce, and other one is where merger happened, and now they want to use organization A's Marketo instance and then CRM from the other organization. and all this leads to the migration to a new instance. So now let's talk about a use case where we completed the migration and the instance is up and running. So in this particular project, organization was using Marketo for their marketing activities, and there were multiple stakeholders involved in building the stuff there in Marketo instance. And all of them are not following the best practices, and all this led to an unorganized instance with performance bottlenecks, outdated workflows, and integration challenges as well. So, but the organization want to do some exciting things with their marketing activities, but because of the old instance and the performance issues, they were not able to achieve that. So after having multiple discussions with the key stakeholders, the team decided to start with a new fresh instance where they can implement things according to their new plans. After the migration was completed, the organization experienced an organized instance and a notable change in their overall operations. The new instance empowered the team to enhance, empower the team with enhanced functionalities, with the streamlined workflows, and all these lead to instance performance, client satisfaction, and then overall business growth. So I would say if we do careful planning, collaborate with these stakeholders, and execute the things in a correct way, we will have an organized and more strategic instance. So with this, I would like Ruchi to share your thoughts on this particular case study.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, you very well covered almost everything. So migration, it's all depends upon the scenario or the primary challenges people are facing. So with the proper planning or designated team and defining proper KPIs and roles to each and every stakeholder, it would make the process much easier. And yeah, I mean, it's all about careful planning and collaboration, as you mentioned. So based on the experiences and also the scenario that I just covered, and I'm sure many more they have been experiencing some different scenarios. So I'd love to hear that as well. So yeah, I mean, at the end, like it's all about collaboration and key planning and execution. So moving on to the next section, which is learning what are the key components of migration. And before I move forward, I have a few questions to ask, and I would love everyone to participate and add a touch of participation to that. First is Marketo migration is like moving houses, but instead of furniture, you're deciding what stays and what goes. It's like the moment when you finally toss out the outdated decor. So how many of you agrees in that, or it's true or false according to you?
Got a few hands in the room saying true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes. Okay. During Marketo migration, you start to see workflows and email templates in your dreams. True or false?
We had everyone laughed and lots of trues here in the room.
Correct. And Marketo migration resembles a detective game for marketers as they investigate missing data, including formatting inconsistencies and incomplete records.
Everyone's saying true. Everyone's saying true.
Great. It's true. And last but not the least, Marketo migration is the ultimate test of marketers' patience.
So many people agreeing with you right here.
Correct. Thank you. So these questions are just to add a touch of humor to the complex and challenging word of Marketo migration. So it's not just about reaching the end goal. It's also about lessons learned or the challenges overcame and the growth experience along the way. Okay, let's cover some of the key components. So imagine these are two Marketo instances, and these categories are like starting from the administrative setup, how you have defined your workspaces, whether or not, and the way you have partitioned your data, CRM that is interconnected, and the type of reporting that you're using currently. And next comes the program types that you're using, active programs. It could be your email blast, the ongoing nurtures or onboarding nurtures maybe, or recurring nurtures that you're using. Also the default type programs, which are primarily, people use for operational processes if they are actively running in the system. So you may want to migrate that as well. And also the event programs, if you want to carry forward that same format or template to the new acquired instance. Then is the type of assets which you're using, your email templates, your forms, your landing page templates, and your design studio, which is holding all the images, your videos and files. And if they are live somewhere on your web pages and on your landing pages or some of the campaigns. So these are all you would may need to migrate as well. Then comes your database, which is very important. What is the state of your current database? How many of them are marketable and useful data for you? So you may not need to carry forward the data which is not marketable or which you're not going to use in the future. Maybe you want to purge that. The type of active forms which are sitting on your live pages, and snippets or segmentations that you have created in your existing instance. So you may want to migrate that as well. There are two different approaches that you can follow when you're planning to migrate. And one is your configuration copy. The other one is a manual approach that you can take up. In configuration copy, so this is the automated process which is enabled by Marketo support team, and you can copy assets from one instance to another. In case of manual migration, you have to import assets from one Marketo instance to another. Configuration copy, it automates the process to a certain extent, making it faster and less prone to the human error. And if you're going for manual migration, it is slightly time consuming and labor intensive, especially for the larger data sets and when you're dealing with the complex configurations. In case of configuration copy, users can select specific components to copy, such as programs, your templates, lists, custom fields, and many more. For manual migration, users will have more control, but they have to ensure that all necessary data and configurations, they are transferred accurately. Config copy will require some of the manual adjustments. And in case of manual migration, it may be necessary for complex or customized configuration, which are not possible to be migrated to the new instance. And when you're going for configuration copy, it's very important to know that it will wipe out anything in the destination instance. But manual migration doesn't wipe anything. So you will have more control. So in summary, configuration copy, it offers a convenient and automated way to migrate a certain data and configurations between the instances. And manual migration will offer more flexibility and control over the process, especially for the complex scenarios. So choice between both the approaches, it totally depends on the specific requirements and complexity of the migration project. Here's a glimpse of the items which can be migrated or cannot be copied over. In case of config copy, you can migrate your programs, smart campaigns, templates, emails, landing pages, snippets, images, smart lists, and static list and fields. But what doesn't copy over of that is the records or data which are sitting in your programs, on your program membership or status. If you're using tokens in your program, so they will become local if they're sitting at the global level or universal level. You can copy over the smart campaigns, but they won't be in the activated or scheduled state. So you'll have to manually take care of that. Also, your calendar data, it won't be copied over. Your lead activities or log for records and your SEO data. Static list members, static list can be forwarded, but without the member data. In case of smart lists, again, if you're setting up the fields, the custom fields again, so when it's copied over, it will automatically be rendering the leads dynamically. Your admin settings and technical setup, your reports, email scripting, if you were using there, and also the redirects. So these are the things that you will have to manage after the config copy is used. In case of manual copy, you will find some of the items which are similar in both the approaches. But like I said, it's just about the choice that you're making. What you can copy over is your programs, and under your programs, if you're using nested programs or local assets, your lists, landing pages, images, smart campaigns, and also your program channel and tags. So you can copy that over. What doesn't copy over is your records data, program membership data, or your campaigns. They won't be activated or in a scheduled state. Your lead activities, fields or admin settings, your dynamic content, if you're using theirs, your subscriptions, the tokens, they will become local in this case also, and also the redirects. So these are the items that you will have to kind of take care after the migration has been connected. Here's some of the questions that you should be asking yourself. So from here, I will pass the mic again to Vinay. So Vinay, can you take us through that?
Certainly, thank you again, Ruchi. So as I already mentioned, for a successful migration, we need careful planning and execution. And for that, we should be clear on our goals, and to make plans, we should consider.
Sorry, Vinay, we can't hear you very well in the room. I'm not sure if you can get closer to your microphone. It's just a little bit hard to hear. Sorry. I'll turn the volume up a little bit.
Hello, is it okay now?
Go again.
Is it okay now? Am I audible?
That's a little better. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, cool. So I was saying, like, for a successful migration, we need careful planning. And to plan a strategy around migration, we should consider asking ourselves some questions on what, who, and how. So let's talk about what first. So we should be clear on the reasons of migration, right? Why are we migrating? What is the need of migration? There can be certain cases where we are considering migration, but the need is not there. So we should be clear on that particular part. And what are the pain points or limitations you are facing with your current instance? You need to be clear on that particular part, and then you need to consider, like, what are the desired outcomes you want to achieve from migration, and what is the scope of migration, what are the technical requirements, what expertise you require to achieve the migration, then about the timeline, what can be the, or what will be the timeline for the migration, then the potential risks involved in migration, like system downtime, or maybe the instance sunset date, or data integrity, and many more. So you should consider those risks as well, and you should have a contingency plan in place to handle some unforeseen conditions or issues. And then you need to check on what is working well in your current instance, and what you can left behind. Then comes the who part. So you need to decide about your team. Who are your key stakeholders and decision makers? Who should you involve in migration? And what roles and responsibilities each and everyone should handle? what are your project management plans, and what are the plans around your QA and UAT, and who are going to do that. Now comes the how part. So here you need to consider how to prepare the plan, how to assess the things, how to prepare documentation around the migration stuff, like what to take with you to the new instance, what you can left behind, and how can you do that particular documentation, how to set up the admin section, and how to integrate things, what third-party integrations you need in your new instance, and how to integrate that. Then you need to consider training your team and supporting your team. Then how to train the team, what should be the plan, how to back up the data and the scripts, and what scripts and data you need in your new instance, how to go live, what are the dates, and if you have everything there in the new instance or not, and how to measure the success of migration, how to evaluate whether you are doing good, or are you lacking somewhere, how to measure everything. So these are some of the questions. I'm sure there are many more questions around that, but I would suggest you should consider all such questions before planning for the migration, and create a plan around that. So now let's talk about the key takeaways from a session. So the first one is careful planning and execution. As you know, migration is a strategic decision, and you need to be clear on whether to go with the migration or not, and you need careful planning and execution around that. Then you can ask for help from Marketo support, but you need to be very specific on the requirement, like what you want from the Marketo support, what help you need, and what are the areas. Then we talked about the migration options, like config copy and the manual. So config copy, you can take support from Marketo, but the config copy wipes out everything in the destination instance. Then you need to test each and every step during the migration process and after migration as well, so that you will be sure about everything is working fine in the new instance. So you need to consider raising the API limits depending on the type of data or the amount of data that you are migrating into the new instance using the APIs. And then the next one is you should back up the data that you can take to the new instance, whether it can be your scripts or membership data or some other activity data. Then you need to check on the embedded data and embedded images, forms, and other stuff that you have migrated to the new instance, whether it is updated automatically or you need to work on that. And if the migrated data is working well in the new instance or not. Then we recommend you to document each and every aspect of migration, whether it is pre-migration or post-migration. You should have documentation around that because that will help you for your future references. Then we talked about a contingency plan. You should have a plan, a backup plan handy with you in some unforeseen conditions. And then we talked about the redirects. You should identify the potential redirects that you need before after migration. So you should have that handy with you, and then plan the implementation of those redirects during the migration process. And so last but not the least, careful planning, documentation, and some manual interventions can help you to ensure smooth transition and minimize the disruptions. And once you are done with the migration, you will have an organized instance with great performance, and you can achieve many more things with your marketing efforts. With this, Ruchi for her final inputs. So Ruchi, over to you.
All right. Have I unmuted? I
Does
think
anyone
there's a
have any
couple of
questions?
questions in the room, so we'll bring the microphones around.
I just have two quick questions. Is it possible to migrate email scripting manually? It is. Okay, cool. Well, great. Fee said yes. Second question is there any way to migrate anything in the activity like a click, an open, an unsubscribe? Technically, yes.
Sorry, didn't get, can you please repeat that?
Is there any way to migrate any of the activity lead data record like a click, an open, an unsubscribe?
So, well, activities, they can't be directly migrated, but when you are migrating programs, or if you're using program statuses for, recording the progressions like your sent or clicked and opened activities, so they can be helpful and they can be a part of your migration then. So you can kind of depend. So basically, the activity data or the records, they won't be migrated.
So only if you change a program status, not if you just register and open in the activity log.
Yeah, so it will still be retained in your programs, and if you're building channels and if you're keeping channels and their status is same in the new instance, so you can track on the basis of these.
Yeah, we've got a bit of a debate in the room between the consultants. Over here saying that you can do, but only in as activities. So you can set custom activities to bring in historical data. I don't think that classifies as even a workaround. We could have a consultant like step. So it's not physically possible to re-import an activity into a Marketo instance. It just can't be done. There's nothing in the API that even allows it. But even if you could, you couldn't match it up on the other end because you would need an activity, a lead ID of some kind. And the lead IDs change when they move from one Marketo to the other. So you'd need some other kind of criteria or unique identifier or something like that through a custom activity to be able to make that happen. A lot of data to move.
Customer ID. Sorry, I was just saying we've already got, couldn't you use a CRM to do that? Whether you would, I don't know about the bring back, but we do some of that stuff in the
if you physically write it
CRM, so send it,
yeah.
We can pull it out or send it automatically via the API to the CRM. And
if you are physically writing those things as activity logs in something like Salesforce, then yes, you could preserve them.
Dynamics.
You could, but Dynamics, same thing. So if you are physically writing activity logs, sending it into something like MSI, for instance, doesn't count because Marketo is not actually storing all of that. It's just displaying it in a little app. So you're not physically writing that stuff unless you write it to the activity logs, in which case you could. The best way, honestly, is to move now to a system where you pull it out into a data warehouse and store it all there, because you've got data retention things in Marketo now anyway for certain types of data that you're going to want to keep long term. So start now to go down that road if that's what you actually need.
Anything to add there, Ruchi, Vinay? A lot of debate going on.
Just a quick note, because I've been dared to say this like for a week now by my fellow leaders here. If you are using configuration copy using Microsoft Dynamics, you can forget it. It does not work for migration if you are using Dynamics and Marketo together. Just saying, learned that the hard way. Got Nora in the back here going, yes. Save yourself the grief. Can't happen.
Any other questions in the room? No, I don't think so. I don't think we've got any in the chat. So if anyone does have any questions, I'll stand over here so people can see me. If anyone does have any questions later, please let me or Jay know, and we're happy to send them through to Ruchi and Vinay, and please post anything in the chat and we can follow it up afterwards. But otherwise, thank you very much. We do have a quick demo from Nico, so I'm going to bring him up and do the whole rearrange of the screen. So stay tuned.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Ruchi and Vinay. If you can't hear it, people are giving you a round of applause.
Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Just let me know when you're on the slides. On the slides? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I'll do a quick slide and then I'll do a quick demo thing. Do we get kicked out? Okay. Oh. Oh. Thanks. That looks good. Good to go? Oh. Hey, thanks everyone. I will be super quick because I realize we're pushing for time. So I'm a Adobe Solutions consultant, so helping customers understand products and solutions. One of the things I'm here today is to give you a bit of highlights from some of the roadmap sessions which were presented at Adobe Summit last week. We're starting with the most exciting thing, of course, which is email bot activity filter enhancements. I mean, come on. Oh, anyway. Yes, I know. This is for V's benefit. So these aren't, I should say, these aren't in any particular order. Now, there was a slide that was in here as well about the typical roadmap thing. So things you see on the roadmap are like roadmaps. So don't rely on them necessarily for any decisions that you're making in terms of investments. Well, yeah, that's right. So it is a roadmap. So I just want to be clear about that. Yeah, so it may, I mean, obviously the intention is to bring it in, but, you know, priorities can change. That's obviously doing a bit of background. Now, this one's an interesting one because interactive webinars is something that's been out in the rest of the territories, US and actually recently in Europe as well. This is coming to us finally in the end of May. So every customer will end up getting interactive webinars, which is a native channel. So potentially an option for you to start costing out if you've got an existing webinar provider like GoToWebinar or Zoom or On24. Potentially you might look into using just Marketo's native one, which is cool. And then it's got some additional features coming in, such as what we've got on the slide here, which is about having on demand. So kind of doing some pseudo live productions. We've got this concept of conversational flows. So this is actually kind of a feature or a functionality of our live chat. But essentially what it means is that when you're presenting your customers' forms, now you can actually kind of start to interact with your customers after they hit the submit button. And one of the coolest things you can do is to actually go ahead and start booking people into calendars. So if you're doing that kind of, well, I'd like to get in touch, and you know, you can do conditional logic and all that kind of cool stuff too. You can go ahead and actually present a person's calendar that will be a live calendar, and they can, you know, pick the right slot and so on and so forth as well. Dynamic chat enhancements. I mean, every Marketo roadmap these days has dynamic chat enhancements sprinkled all the way through. Dynamic chat is one of these tools which has kind of been pushed to the forefront. I still think it's really cool, and it's obviously having a lot of impact in terms of roadmap. So here we can see it's getting more ability to sort of segment and do some sort of conditional flows. This one will go ahead and help you with your dynamic chat select one. So the version that's included with dynamic chat, in that you can make your kind of your concierge or your sort of always on chatbot be a bit more useful in directing people to the right places based on the Marketo knowledge that you've already got on them. Then we have, oh, not that, sorry. Oh, sorry. I thought there was an exciting one before with the email bot filter enhancements, but anyway, whatever. Permission and audit trail enhancements. I'm sure that's very, very exciting for everyone. Sure, yeah, that's true. All right. Well, my apologies for skipping over the audit trail. Now, this one is really, I think, probably, well, to me, I thought this would have the most amount of impact. So there is a new Marketo email designer which is coming in, and I can actually give you a bit of a sneak peek today at this actual functionality. I will. How much time do we have? Are we really pushed for time? We are pushed for time. All right. Well, let me just quickly go to my next slide, and then I'll talk. So I want to talk about something here, which is there is a new sort of marketing automation product which has been announced from Adobe, which is called Adobe Journey Optimizer B2B edition. And to buy it, you kind of need to be a Marketo customer, and you need to sort of purchase something new. And it's pretty much presented at the top end. So for pretty much like the Lenovo's and the Microsofts, so some of the customers, but we're going to see a whole bunch of those things start to filter down. It doesn't mean that Marketo is going anywhere. Like Marketo is actually, like, the innovations are coming through. In fact, if anything, it kind of means that the Marketo roadmap gets a little bit more attention because you get to sort of filter down. So for example, if I go backwards, if it does let me go backwards, this email authoring capability, this new sort of template, is actually a feature of the new B2B edition, but it's been sort of put in place as a way that it can then flow into the core Marketo application as well. So that's kind of cool. Anyway, so eventually we'll obviously learn more about AJO B2B edition. AJO is currently a product we already have at Adobe now. It's more for B2C audiences, and it kind of competes against the likes of Marketing Cloud and that kind of thing. So, you know, for like large retail brands and so on and so forth. For the B2B edition, it's going to be a bit of a mixture of the two. So you'll get some ability to do like canvas type journeys, but you'll also be kind of thinking a lot around about like buying groups. How can I communicate with this buying group versus that buying group? And then how can I sort of have a bit more of an ABM kind of account-based marketing strategy put in there? But anyway, so that's kind of like a bit of a FYI. So watch this space. What I'll do now is I'll go to the back of the room and I'll see if we can get the demo of the email editor going. So it's in a browser.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, that's the one. All right, cool. So this is kind of what it looks like. So basically what we're showing you now is actually something that's already live in our Adobe Journey Optimizer. Yeah. Can you still hear me if I'm at the back of the room? That's all right.
What was that?
Everyone can still hear me okay? Sorry.
Yeah, yep.
Oh, this is awkward. I'm gonna have to, all right. No, that's all right. All right. So, all right, what do I like about it? It's obviously for an email editor, it's got a really kind of sleek UI. Like you can kind of do things that. No, this is an email. So this is actually designing the email. So, you know, I can actually kind of pull in various elements and do various kinds of things in a much more sort of free-flowing way. And then one other thing that's really cool is that I can actually connect it to Adobe's digital asset manager that comes with the tool, which is called AEM Assets. And this means that oh, sorry. This means that my creative teams and whatnot can be working in Photoshop, and they can go ahead and store the folders and so on. They can drop their files and folders, and they can spin up all their various bits and pieces in here. But it also means, if this works, you can do things like a bit of like an AI search. So I don't need to necessarily see or have a file called dog. I can just search for dog and it'll go ahead and find me the right file. So that's cool. So obviously I'd pick this one if I was you. Now, but it doesn't end there. So the other thing is that obviously Adobe wants to be a leader within the generative AI space. So you'll see here, generate and select text. So we can kind of do this together. Like, oops, a great way to, oh, it's not typing. Oh, oh, that's annoying.
It's not
It works
typing.
for dog. Oh, maybe I'm typing it here. See if it works. Okay, cool. So that works. So you can see, I mean, in the spirit of us being scalable, marketers who are sort of doing all sorts of kind of things on the fly, we don't have a heap of time and we just need a bit of a thing. That's really cool. And then, being able to change the tone and to change the length, you can obviously just pop in your own text and it'll go ahead and help you build all that. So I think that's really cool, and we're all looking forward to seeing that. But also from the imagey type thing, we can now go ahead and start to do the Adobe Firefly thing. So it's head in some bread. Did I spell that wrong? That's good. Oh, it's good. I can't see it. Anyway, so you don't necessarily need to have a dog with its head in some bread to be able to build these images. It will go ahead and sort of generate you some imagery and stuff as well. Anyway, so that's kind of the quick demo. I mean, it's roadmap, so we're this coming through eventually. It's a bit of both. You can have a template, or you can sort of start with, like this one started off with a template, but you can also make it so you can actually just build it from scratch in a very... Yeah, the structure is, I mean, it's such a more free-flowing... No, you can actually build the structure however you like. So if you wanted to add in this 4x4 column, the template designer hasn't built you a 4x4 column. This is just something that's here, and you can drag and drop that over here and then build in 4x4. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's cool.
Any other questions for the room, from the room or online?
Yeah, don't ask that. Thank you. I
honestly,
I don't know. Sorry, we were joking about that before, but I imagine there's a plan for existing templates. In terms of roadmap, like where it's landing, they're suggesting H2, so the second half of this year. So fingers crossed, that's how it all happens, but I'm sure we'll see more improvements coming through soon. All right.
Thanks, Nico. I will just give me 1 second. Stop sharing. We just have Jeremy, who's just going to say 2 quick things, and I'm going to hand him the microphone. And then we do have to wrap up because they're going to kick us out.
Thanks very much. Just very quickly, was anyone aware, just by a raise of hands, whether or not, or were you aware of a product roadmap session for Marketo happening tomorrow morning at 9 a.m? Okay, there's a few raises of hands, but a few nods. So there is a roadmap session happening tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. by our product team out of the US. Short notice, so if you weren't aware, apologies on the behalf of Adobe. But for those online, I'll share the link in the Zoom chat. For those in the room, I'll share the link as well. would highly recommend joining that session because it's going to be more of a deep dive. So Nico's done more of a sort of high level overview, but the session tomorrow will be, more of a deep dive for around 45 minutes. Also, there are set to be a number of best of summit events that'll be more sort of strategic, talking to sort of things outside of just Marketo. So we have sessions planned for in-person in Sydney, Auckland, and Melbourne throughout May and June. If you're interested in more info around those, reach out to your account manager. They'll be able to share some info how you can register and attend. But yeah, that's it from me. I'll throw back to Helen. Oh, question. Yeah, so they're not, but we can show you them if there's an Adobe person present on a call. So it's a bit of a weird thing, but try and attend it if you can. If not, there'll be a workaround.
Thank you. Well, that wraps up today. Thank you so much to everyone for attending. Thank you again to our sponsors, to all of our speakers today, and for everyone who attended online. We'll stop the recording now and hopefully get that around to everybody afterwards. For everyone here in the room, please grab a drink, grab something to eat, have a chat for another minute, and V is going to tell us where we're heading to next if anyone would like to stick around and chat. So thank you. That's it. Yeah.